afternoon, everybody. We are glad that you have joined us today for the afternoon break. The afternoon break is a live webinar where we invite you to do an inside view of stewardship technology. We are going to provide you an exclusive updates about our products, our industry trends, and answer all of your questions for donation management and payment processing. So sit back, relax, and take a break with us. Grab that cup of coffee. Today we have Trey Swallow with us. He is our Director of Sales, and he's joining us from Washington, D.C. Trey, how are you doing today? Oh, I think we need to unmute you here. Here, let's go ahead and do that. Let's try this one more time. Trey, how are you doing today?
Excellent, Julianne. Thanks for having me on this afternoon.
Absolutely. Today we also have BJ Acker with us. She is our marketing specialist, and she is joining me, Julianne Manning. I'm the customer care specialist here, and we are live from Mount Vernon, Ohio, where BJ, it's finally decided to be fall weather out there, correct?
Yes, it is. It's beautiful out today. It's like 60.
Yeah, so we're enjoying some fall time weather here in Mount Vernon, Ohio. But today we want to talk to you about the feedback that we received from our pensions and benefits platform discussion that we had with Foursquare and the Church of the Nazarene. We received lots of questions over that platform, so we wanted to make sure that we took this opportunity to review that feedback that came in. So we're excited to do that today. Feedback, we use it. We use it to better upgrade our platform. We also use it to help better our customer service as well. So today, as well, as questions arise, feel free to use those chat features if you're joining us through the webinar, or if you're joining us through Facebook, make sure you submit those questions through the Facebook feed, and we will make sure that we answer those questions as well. So BJ is going to be helping us field those questions as they come in, correct?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so we're glad that you've joined us today for the afternoon break. Without further ado, we're going to get to those feedback questions that we had. So grab that cup of coffee, and as we get started here, our first question comes from Virginia. She is with a nonprofit out of Maryland. If you're joining us from Maryland or from the East Coast, would you mind giving us a like on the Facebook feed, or even just maybe a smiley face? In the webinar. We're excited to have you with us here today. But Virginia, she wants to know that it seems that Foursquare and the Church of the Nazarene, they both use 403B retirement plans. So she was just curious if our platform just works with 403B platforms, or if it works with other platforms such as a 401k. Trey, can you address that for us here?
Of course. So the majority of our clients are on 403B plans, as they are faith-based denominations. But we do also use our pensions platform for 401k plans as well. So if you have a 401k plan for your nonprofit or charity that you would like to remit electronic remittance for, and track your reporting and make sure all of that good information gets up to your plan administrator, your Schwab or your Fidelity or your Lincoln, anybody at that, we also service 401k plans on our pensions platform.
Okay, perfect, wonderful. Now, with this transition comes with a lot of change, and it's a big communication piece for our denominations. Does ST develop that training for our churches, or is that something that the denomination oversees? This question came from Jane from Birmingham, Alabama. Trey, can you address that question for us today?
I sure can. So at StewTech, we always like to position ourselves as partners with you guys, because that's how we are. Whether you develop the training or we develop the training or we develop together, we want to tackle the issue together as partners. So the question, how do we develop the training for our churches? That can be marketing materials, it can be webinars, it can be print material with instructions. We are happy to assist in that process and partner with you in the process to develop those materials. We can handle that entirely inside at StewTech, or if you have a wonderful graphics or marketing department or anything like that, We can assist your team, but the goal is to tackle it together as a partnership. When we go through the pensions platform and we go through the implementation, these are all things that we talk about, how we can go from step one part of the implementation process, all the way through the deployment and partner throughout that whole process.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Trey, for those insights. Now, before we even get to that implementation part, there's an initial implementation process that we talked with the denomination about. What does that process look like? Leslie from St. Louis, she was curious about that. How does that initial implementation take place? What does that look like?
Oh, Leslie. Yes. I knew she would be curious. She is a curious short. I know Leslie. So Leslie, this one goes out to you. So the implementation process is, we understand that the pensions platform is not a one-size-fits-all sort of thing. Our pensions platform is designed to be customized in a number of different ways. You can customize information that you want to take in about your employees that you work at your church. You can customize the different types of contributions that you want to take in, whether it's employee salary reduction or employer salary addition, or even additional items like church loans or 401k or Roth IRA or any type of church match discretionary stuff. We allow the ability for our main platform, our base platform, to be customized, and that's what we do in the implementation process. We will work with you to identify the unique portions of your 401k or your pensions plan. Once we've identified those, we'll work with our development team to implement those into the platform for you. We also have a large forms section that can be part of our platform. And the forms sections allows you to take registrations or have people sign up for benefits packages online. And we capture those electronic signatures. So during the implementation process, we're also working to build those forms with you that we would use on the website if you choose to handle enrollments that way. So the whole process of the implementation, from the first question of what makes you guys unique to the very end part of the implementation of, we heard you, here's what it now looks like, that's the whole life cycle of the implementation.
Okay, perfect, very good. So from that initial conversation of what it looks like to the time that it's rolled out, Brett with the Pentecostal Holiness Church, he was curious, what that time frame looks like. What is that time from the initial implementation to the time it's actually rolled out to the individual churches?
Well, that time frame can depend on a number of different things. We try to always shoot for 30 to 60 days for the entire implementation process. Now that goes through the customization of your platform. It also goes through the data testing and money transmission with your plan administrator. So whether we're sending the data and reporting to you guys as a denomination, or we're sending the data and money to your plan sponsor, your plan administrator, which could be your Schwab or Fidelity or Lincoln, we're all putting all of that through a testing process. If the money goes one place and the data goes another, all of those things we're figuring out during implementation and then testing. A lot of the time frame to deployment depends on also how we're deploying and how we're training. So once we get to that stage where we're ready to release it, we'll talk about how we want to get the message out to your churches or to your staff members or to your branches of your nonprofit. How do we want to train them? How do we want to make sure that they're comfortable from day one? And also our deployment strategy. Are we going to deploy to 50 churches first? Are we going to deploy to 5,000 churches at one time? What do we want to set as the adoption time period for when people must start using this? Because you got to remember, as usage ramps up of the platform, the manual side at your denomination headquarters go down. So we always want to talk about what that might look like, the whole process and procedure. So the implementation time period can vary depending on testing and deployment strategies, but we always try to shoot for that 30 to 60 days.
Perfect. Well, and speaking of that, it kind of relates to the question that we have from John. He's from a Lutheran church in O'Fallon, Missouri. But John was curious, as more churches are taking advantage of the platform, does the cost of the platform increase? So does the cost of the platform increase as active accounts increase?
Who is that question from again, Julianne?
John from O'Fallon, Missouri.
John, right outside of St. Louis there. John, no, it doesn't. If you're listening, John, this goes out to you. The price of the platform does not increase with the amount of churches that you add to the platform. So when we start the platform, we'll agree to a certain price, and then you can grow your pensions fund as large as you want it to. Sign up more churches. Sign up other people's churches. I don't care. But the price stays the same.
Okay, great, perfect. All right, so one more here before we go to BJ and see what's coming in online. But actually, no, let's go ahead and take an opportunity to go to BJ. BJ, what questions have come from
I got
email?
a couple that did come through. One of this is from Schaumburg, Illinois, from Frank. Frank wants to know, Trey, does the plan only support churches, or can it support individuals such as chaplains and evangelists?
Great question. And that's a big thing. The traveling evangelist or revivalist or different chaplains or even missionaries, one you might not have mentioned there, those, of course, also are employees of a denomination and can remit to the pensions fund in a number of ways. Or even with your nonprofits, if you have one-off employees that aren't at your main location or that don't kind of fit in, do we accommodate those in our platform? And the answer is yes, of course we do. So we can set them up in a variety of ways, whether we can set them up if they have a tax ID for their revival services, if they're a company that provides that and bills out that way, even though it's a single person, they may register their social as their tax ID with the government. We could track all that and create specific logins for those people where they can then log in and remit payments at their own need. We also have the ability for the administrators of the account, especially when we're talking about missionaries at time that may be in the field, may not have access to regularly remit payment. We give administrators the ability to submit payments or checks on behalf of different people in the account as well. So we do accommodate them from a self-service point, and we also give the administrators of the pensions platform the ability to also manually do that on their end.
What else do we have
Okay,
today?
I've got one more that came in, and this one is from a treasurer, Trey, from Fort Wayne, Indiana, from a Free Methodist church. Question is, what types of reports do we receive?
Yes, very important, especially for the treasurers. I know you guys, it's all about reporting, all about bank account reconciliation. So what we're looking at here is you have access on the admin screen to pull a number of different reports on demand. So anytime that you need reporting for bank account reconciliation, for employees, for churches registered in your plan or enrolled in your plan, you have on-demand reporting that you can pull at any point. All of these reports are in a wonderful format called CSV. Why do we do that? Because CSV reports can be uploaded into various accounting softwares, as it's the easiest format around that can be uploaded into that. So if you're using our system in conjunction with a payroll system, or you're using our system in conjunction with your accounting system, all of these reports are designed to give you the information you need when you need it and to be exported and uploaded to any of the other software systems that you're using.
All right. Well, thank you, BJ. Any other questions coming in this time?
Nope, not yet.
Perfect. All right. We'll keep checking that Facebook. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to submit them via the webinar or on our Facebook live feed. We're excited and anxious to get that feedback from you. We did have a question that came in all the way from Pittsburgh. So go Steelers. This is a church from Pastor Rob from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he wants to know that if his denomination uses this platform, will he be able to see contributions in his account on a more consistent basis? Trey, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I would say hands down, yes. So the way that we do it, one of the benefits of the electronic remittance system is it takes out the human element. So in traditional, what we would consider a traditional pensions platform system, the church would be sending in a check to the denomination with their remittance form. And it takes X amount of time for the treasurer to cut that check and to send it in. X amount of time for the mail to get there. And then it's got to find its way to whoever's in charge there at the denomination, and then takes X amount of time for them to process it, and then more time for them to send it out to the plan administrator. The nice part about our system is every single day we're moving money and we're moving data. So if you make a payment, a one-time payment, as soon as that payment processes and settles, we're going to get that information and data. Data and information, the same thing. We're going to get that data and money directly to your plan administrator so you can see it in your account right away. So we're really talking about what can be a 7 to 14 day kind of business day kind of time frame. We're looking at more like a 2 to 3 time frame. So if you're making one-time catch-up payments or you're making a large lump sum payment, you'll be able to see that in just a business day or two reflected into your retirement account.
Great. That was great. Yeah. All right, let's see here. This is coming from Doris. She is a record keeper from New York City, and she wants to know, on average, how much time would you say it saves in data entry for a denomination? So how much time does it save in data entry for a denomination? Trey, what do you say to that?
Well, what we've seen at some of the denominations where we've implemented it is we've actually seen full-time employees that have been dedicated to this data entry be assigned elsewhere because they don't have enough to do anymore. So as your acceptance rate for the portal ramps up, at the same time that goes up, your manual entry at headquarters goes down. So it's kind of, it's tough to quantify depending on how your deployment is or your release structure to determine how quickly you will have more free time on your hands, how quickly you can spend more time with us on the afternoon break. All right. But that's what's going to happen. The higher the acceptance rate, the lower the time spent on manual entry. We've seen it every time we've implemented a new denomination or a nonprofit. I can't quantify the hours, but if we're talking full-time employees having to be reassigned because they don't have data entry, that's a lot of savings.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see here. So I think we have, BJ, have we had any other questions come in?
I did get an email. Let me open this back up. It is from Margaret from Methodist Church in Portland, Oregon. Her question, Trey, is it easy to change reoccurring contributions? And can a church make changes to their contributions at any time?
Sure. Now, my grandma is named Margaret, and you can't lie to your grandma, so I can't lie to you, Margaret. Is it easy to change these contributions? The answer is yes. Yes, of course it is. So once you schedule a contribution in the system, you can edit that contribution up until the point that it goes into a processing status. That means we're moving the money. So as long as it's in that scheduled status, you can edit it as long as you want to. So let me give you an example. Let's say you set up a recurring payment. So most churches have a set payroll. They know when the remittance needs to go. So they set it up as a recurring element, right? Set it up in the system on recurring. You know how much goes out in payroll every week, and just let it go. So let's say you've set up your recurring payment and you get a notice from Joe. Joe wants to up. He loves this so much. He loves the pensions. He loves seeing the money in his bank account. Not bank account. We have a problem there. He loves seeing the money in his retirement account. He wants to up his percentage. So what's going to happen is sweet Margaret out there in Portland, she's going to go into the system and edit the recurring schedule to account for Joe's deferral increase. And it's just that. It's that easy. As long as it's in scheduled status, you can edit it anytime that you need to.
Awesome. All right, so I think we have one more question here. Trey, I think you might be familiar with this gentleman from Mount Vernon, Ohio, but he wants to know, and it's quite the coincidence. His name is Trey as well. How about that, BJ? But he would like to know, does Stewardship Technology, do we just specialize in pensions and benefits, or do we have other specialties as well?
You know what? That Trey must be one smart guy. I'm really glad that he asked that question. And the answer is, you know what? StewTech does do other things besides pensions. Now, we're great at that, but we also do other things such as online donations, peer-to-peer and crowdfunding solutions for your race run walks. We do event registration. We do text to give. We have a virtual terminal for school tuition payments. We have all kinds of these other things that we also do for denominations and churches and nonprofits to help you guys raise funds to fund your mission. So I'm not going to say that was my favorite question of the day, but it might be. I don't know who that guy is, but great question.
Well, very good. All right, well, let's take a moment here. All right, very good. So we wanted to take a moment here and just talk about a couple other things. You know, what do you do now that you have all this information about how great our pensions and benefit platform is? What do you do if you're interested? What are the next steps? How do you request a demo? And to do that, you can request a demo. You can contact us at info@stewardshiptechnology.com to request an opportunity for us to be able to demo this platform for you. Also, at any time, if you want to reach out to Trey or myself with any questions that you have over any of our features with Stewardship Technology, our contact information is on the screen, so please do not hesitate to reach out with any of those questions. We are very glad that you're able to join us today for the afternoon break. Again, you have our contact information there. I do want to point out too, coming up, we do have another Thought Leader webinar coming November 1st that BJ Acker and myself, we're going to be presenting for our Thought Leader webinar. It's going to be over Giving Tuesday. So definitely it's something to mark on your calendar. We're going to be talking about before and after Giving Tuesday and how to prepare for that, as well as some features that you have available to you on Stewardship Technology's platform that you can really benefit for on that day as well. So something to keep in mind. As always, please check out the latest and greatest updates and events from Stewardship Technology at our blog, stewardshiptechnology.blog. And don't forget to like us on Facebook so you never miss an afternoon break. We're glad that you were able to join us today. We want to make sure that you always have the option to contact us with any questions that we have. We're glad, we hope you enjoyed that cup of coffee, and we're glad that you came for the afternoon break. Everyone have a great day.
Thanks, guys.